I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of June 1st, 2016. Thanks for joining us as we go over the best comics of the week, the comics that we love the most. Last week was... What a week. What a week last week was. We had DC Universe Rebirth #1, which was universally praised and sold out quickly throughout the United States, including here at Alter Ego Comics. We ordered enough for what we thought would be about a 30-day supply, and we sold out in 3 days. So you wanted to read it, deservedly so. It was an excellent book, and it kicks off Rebirth. So we'll mention some of those titles this week. Also, last week we had Steve Rogers' Captain America #1, which had a reveal at the end, which enraged the internet. And
to be fair, what doesn't enrage the internet?
Yeah, everything enrages the internet. But it was a surprise from out of left field, so as a result, we sold out of Steve Rogers' Captain America #1, making it our best-selling Captain America #1 in the 11-year history of the store.
Well, any issue, but generally #1 sold the most anyway.
Yeah.
But
So, this week, we've got some more heavy hitters, including my pick of the week, Civil War II #1, written by Brian Michael Bendis, artwork by David Marquez. Okay. So Marvel, in their infinite wisdom, has probably muddied the waters by having a Civil War Free Comic Book Day issue, which is a prelude, a Civil War II #0, which came out 2 weeks ago, and now Civil War II #1. And this is where the action starts. This is the beginning, really, of the story. But we both agree that if you have not read the Free Comic Book Day Civil War prelude, you should probably find that before you read this issue. We will have copies available at the store for anybody that didn't get one on Free Comic Book Day.
While supplies last.
While supplies last. We have a pretty decent supply.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, we thought we had a decent supply of DC Rebirth 1, too.
You're right. So, yeah, this is everything that's great about a big, sprawling Marvel event. All kinds of characters. You got the Inhumans, the Avengers, all the Avengers, and everybody's pretty much an Avenger. And even some of the X-Men make an appearance. The magical characters of the Marvel Universe are here. And, of course, we have a new Inhuman named Ulysses, who has the ability to see the future. And that is the spark that ignites Civil War II.
The ability to say a future.
To see a future, and I guess I appreciate that, but we've had other characters in the Marvel Universe that have been able to see the future. Destiny springs to mind from Mystique's pseudo-mom from the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. But this is a big deal in that it creates a schism between Tony Stark and Carol Danvers, and some stuff happens in this issue. If you're a Marvel fan, do we want to say? I mean, you'll be on the internet probably. I'm not going to spoil who dies, but someone dies in this issue. And of course, it's comics, so...
And more than... And other people are significantly...
Yeah, someone else may be dead also by the end of the issue. 2 long-standing, familiar Marvel characters may have bitten the dust. One definitely is dead. One may also be dead.
As definitely as dead gets in comics.
Yes. When you have a universe that has cosmic cubes and infinity gems, you never know what might happen. So, awesome stuff. Civil War II #1 delivered, and you should totally check it out. It's a must-buy for all Marvel fans.
And what I like about Civil War II is really the same thing, to a certain degree, I liked about Civil War I, is the defining... The schism that occurs is philosophical. I mean, you can beat someone, but beating them doesn't make you right. It's an argument that it cannot necessarily be solved by fists, although they will try, because that's the way of superheroes.
The way of the fist.
Yes.
The foot
Iron
fist way.
Yeah. My pick of the week this week is Old Man Logan #7, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Andrea Sorrentino, and this book is just amazingly awesome. I was really surprised that this is the last part of the current storyline.
So it's only 3
issues. It's like a 3 issue,
right?
Which I totally support. I'm all about stories being as long as they need to be and not being drug out for the trade. But this is the conclusion of Wolverine moving to a town in the middle of nowhere, and of course bad things follow him. And it was just great. Sorrentino's art, as always, is really evocative. We just get to see classic Wolverine. In a lot of ways, Wolverine is like Groundhog Day or Sisyphus. Like, he keeps doing the same things over and over again, and the same horrible things keep happening to him. And I don't know why, but I like that. It's comforting to me that Wolverine's life is still terrible, and I just like seeing him strive against these terrible things over and over again. And it's just awesome.
It is.
And is this leading into Civil War next, or no, it's not tagged that way.
I don't know. It's just been good from the get-go. 7 issues in, still excellent. Same writer, same artist, same tone, same feel. And if you're a Wolverine fan and you, for some reason, are not reading this, why? I think it's the same reason that people bailed on Superior Spider-Man when Doc Ock became Spider-Man and Peter Parker was dead and then kind of in limbo. It was still a great story. And it's the same thing with Steve Rogers' Captain America. A lot of people are really fired up. Now, I'm never reading Captain America again. I can't believe they're doing this. It's a story. It's a story that's meant to create controversy and create sales, and you have to trust the writer that and the editors and Marvel in general that they're going to tell a good story. So, good story is being told in Old Man Logan. One of our favorite indie books is back after a brief hiatus. Paper Girls number 6 is out this week by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang, and this is the first issue of the new story arc. If you've been following Paper Girls, it's about 4 paper delivery girls in the 1980s that experience a War of the Worlds type situation on Halloween, and that was the first arc in dealing with kind of aliens and time travel and 80s references and all kinds of fun stuff, teen angst. And now we leap forward in time to our present. So we're in 2016, and one of the younger characters gets to meet her 40-year-old self. And there is still craziness and time travel and all kinds of cool stuff happening. So Paper Girls continues to be excellent. If you're a fan of Vaughn's other work, including Saga and Why the Last Man, you should totally be reading this as well.
DC is, of course, on board the Rebirth train. We got a number of Rebirth one-shots this week. First one up was Batman Rebirth, written by Tom King and Scott Snyder, with art by Mikhail Janin. And we get a... actually, I'm kind of interested in this. The main story with Batman and Calendar Man I don't care that much about, although they certainly made Calendar Man creepier than I sort of expected.
Than I remember.
But this actually spends a decent amount of time with Batman and Duke. I don't know Duke's last name. He's one of the main characters from We Are Robin, and it was central in the Robin War and the end of the previous Batman storyline, as well as Bruce Wayne and Lucius Fox, which is always a fun interaction. And yeah, I really, it was like, I don't know, nothing really happened. I mean, things happened, there's a story, but like, it was just sort of like moments in Batman's life, which was very kind of cool, just kind of setting the tone. And I don't know why, I really like this Alfred kind of.
I guess we can talk off camera about what that last page means, because I don't really understand.
It's a metaphor, Mark. And
it's over my head.
And then over at Superman Rebirth, written by Pete Tomasi with art by Doug Monkey?
Sure. That's how I say
Doug
it.
Monkey? D-Town. We get, so the end of Superman 52, New 52 Superman is dead. Superman from the old universe, the Lois and Clark bearded black suit Superman, is kind of revealed himself to key people in the world, including Lana Lang and the Justice League. And this is about what happens when Superman dies, how the people who care about him react to it, and how the person who's presumably going to be lifting his load, taking up the torch, the other Superman, deals with it, and the interaction between the two, which I think is the best part of the story. It was just very cool. It was a nice melding of the classic mythology with the New 52 stuff, which hopefully sets up what we're going to see in Rebirth.
2 other Rebirth titles are out this week, and these are the 2 that I enjoyed the most. Green Lanterns, Rebirth number 1, written by Jeff Johns and Sam Humphries, with artwork by Ethan Van Sciver and Ed Benes. And this is the story of the 2 primary Green Lanterns of Earth that are both kind of rookies. Simon Baz is the most senior of the 2.
By months.
Yeah, by not much. And Jessica Cruz, who's been hanging out in the Justice League, and she started as Power Ring, and then kind of died, and then she came back as a Green Lantern. Well, it was in last week's issue.
Last week?
That's a week. Go to your comic store every week. There's no excuse. So this is going to be kind of like a buddy cop series featuring 2 of these new Green Lanterns. And in this issue, we get some backstory on both of them, which I think is great. Brings people up to speed about who they are. Excuse me. And then they are kind of put to the test by Hal Jordan himself, who shows up to make sure that they're working together to basically say, I'm going to be on the other side of the universe trying to find the Green Lantern Corps, trying to do other stuff. I need you to
see Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, number one.
Out July 13th, I think is what it said in here. It's my anniversary, by the way.
That's probably why they did it.
That's why it's coming out, yeah. So we get Jessica and Simon, the...
He was falsely accused of being a terrorist. She's crazy.
Yes.
She's mentally controlled by a ring.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And I liked both of these characters from the get-go when they were first introduced. But I'm really curious to see how this plays out. I should say kind of the bookend in this piece is narration by Atrocitus. And it looks like they even say...
That's also a little bit of a spoiler, but it's cool.
Well, no, not really. I mean, you open the first page and you know who's doing the narration. Everything's in red and...
Okay.
Green Lanterns, Rebirth #1.
I have a question. Yeah. When was Baz introduced?
Maybe like 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
Well, because Hal specifically says that he's only been a Lantern a few months longer than she has. And I'm like, how compressed is time in the New 52?
I mean, even if it was 2 years ago, Jessica was introduced almost a year ago. Right?
Yeah, but she didn't get the ring until last week.
Well, right.
He said you've been a Green Lantern for...
I guess she's been using Power Ring, though.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And it's been using her.
Yeah. All right, the other one that I really dug this week is Green Arrow Rebirth #1, written by Ben Percy, artwork by Otto Schmidt. Yes, Otto Schmidt. I could make a joke there, but I won't. I know you were tempted to. So, in DC Universe Rebirth #1 that came out last week, we got some great scenes with... can I spoil who the narrator is in Rebirth? It's been a week. People know, right?
Okay.
Spoiler warning, if you don't want to know who the narrator of DC Universe
I'll put my hand in front of my mouth, you can mute it.
Yes. Yeah, just mute it now, and then I'll wave my hand when you can come back in. So, the narrator of DC Universe #1 is Wally West, and Wally is trying to get out of the Speed Force, jumping around, and he sees Ollie and Dinah Lance, Black Canary, and feels sad that their relationship never happened in the New 52. So the seeds are planted in DC Universe Rebirth #1 that they will have a relationship, and it will hopefully be kind of similar to what we saw pre-New 52.
And the goatee's back.
Yes, the goatee's back. So this is a team-up between Green Arrow and Black Canary for the first time, and they take on some creepy underground zombie kind of Court of the Owls-esque characters who are kidnapping homeless women and children and auctioning them off. Not the most uplifting story in the world, but I felt that I'm not familiar with Ben Percy's writing. I thought he did an excellent job. Really curious to see where they go with this. So the two Green Rebirth titles were... I enjoy these two, but I like these better.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, the Undercity thing is actually true.
I'm sorry, what?
The Undercity, how Seattle was built over the top of the ruins of old Seattle. Just super creepy.
Yeah, I love when they work, actual history into books. So.
I like to learn things from my comics. Not just about power rings. 2 new #1s out this week from Image, I think. Dynamite, sorry. From Dynamite, we've got Control, written by Andy Diggle, who you may remember from such books as Green Arrow Year 1 and a good run on Hellblazer, John Constantine. Well, just Hellblazer. But with art by Angela Cruikshank, possibly. This is a story about cops, and it's got a ball gag and underpants on the cover, so take from that what you will. But we've got a mission gone badly, officers down, and things are bigger than they appear. I liked it. It was fun, kind of cool stuff. Diggle's sort of a slow burn. He sets pieces in place, and then it really explodes later, but it was a good first issue. And then from Charles Soule, friend of the store, we've got Strange Attractors at Boom, illustrated by Greg Scott. And this is really cool. This was actually runner-up for my pick of the week. It's about the math behind the way the world works. Specifically, you've got an old mathematician who's been studying New York City itself for years, the interconnected web of systems, the way 7 million people can be fed every day, and it's really super cool. It's about the idea of how you introduce chaos or control into those systems to control things that shouldn't be controllable, to manipulate the world, essentially. and just very, very awesome. Big ideas, lots of fun, and he gets a young mathematician, or a younger mathematician at least, to kind of take under his wing and maybe take over his position as the man on the wall, or whatever it is they call it here in
Shazam.
New York's Mad. Yes, he's the new Shazam. But very cool, lots of fun. Boom, Charles Soule.
This is the comic that Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park would
Right.
enjoy reading. So if you like chaos theory and that sort of thing.
How disappointed am I in the world that they spent the whole weekend, the internet, not the real world, spent the whole weekend talking about the gorilla kid thing at Cincinnati Zoo, and I didn't see any memes with Ian Malcolm, life will break free, or you can't put things in cages. I was disappointed, world.
I'm going to steer clear of that one. I think it's too fresh.
Okay. I keep it real.
Also this week, after what seems like forever, we have
It was forever.
collected edition of Wild Blue Yonder, written by Mike Raked, artwork by Zach Howard. You may recall, if you go back in the archives of Alter Ego Comics TV, probably 2 years or so, you'll find us talking about the single issues of Wild Blue Yonder, which we both really enjoyed. It was plagued by some delays between issue 3 and 4, or something like that. I believe it was a 5-issue miniseries.
A 5-issue series that took like a year to come out.
5-issue series that took a very long time to actually see the light of day. But now you have the complete series in a nice trade paperback. And this is for fans of dystopian futures, things like The Road Warrior or Waterworld, or, I say Waterworld in a good way because there were certain elements of that that were enjoyable. But in this, we're dealing with planes. So it's a dystopian future where they are looking for fuel for their planes and safe havens and things like that. And the main character is just really engaging, and it's kind of an every person. It's very easy to relate to this character.
It's like Tailspin meets the Road Warrior.
There you go. Tailspin meets the Road Warrior. Howard's artwork is outstanding. That's one of the big selling points of this. But the story is really engaging and tight, too. So Wild Blue Yonder gets 2 thumbs up.
4 thumbs up.
4 thumbs up. 2 from me, 2 from Josh. You should seek out the trade paperback and check it out. Oh, another solid week. Lots of stuff this week. We were saying as we were going through the shipment last week, just a lot of stuff coming out this week. And it seems like there's going to be no end to that in sight because we'll have Rebirth books moving forward. We're going to have Civil War moving forward and tie-ins, plus all the cool indie stuff that comes out. So make sure you hit your local comic shop this week. And if you enjoyed this week's episode, give us a thumbs up on YouTube and leave us any questions that you may have about anything. And we will answer them for you.
We'll try.
When we remember to check the comment section. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.